He was a general that commanded armies and led a campaign that defeated God's chosen people, but he had a flaw. 2 flaws, actually. He suffered from a debilitating illness and debilitating pride. What God asked him to do to heal both afflictions was seemingly impossible, but easy. I'm Brent, and this is episode 60 of the Bible Unplugged. We look at the story of Naaman, a powerful military leader who was healed of his leprosy and learned a lesson in humility before God. Please take a minute to look at the show notes for this episode at powerloveandmiracles.com. In the last episode, we introduced Naaman, the leader of the Syrian army and an advisor to the king. Naaman, the captain of the Syrian army, was a trusted friend and advisor to his king. In the book of 2 Kings chapter 5, we learn that Naaman was an honorable man and a great military leader, but he suffered from leprosy. This debilitating skin disease likely impacted his relationships and his self-image. A young girl who was a slave taken captive in a raid on Israel told Naaman's wife that she wished her master was with a prophet in Samaria who could heal Naaman. This led to a series of events that put Naaman before the king of Israel to ask for healing. We pick up the story in the book of 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 6. Naaman brought a letter and expensive gifts to the king of Israel. The letter from the king of Syria said, "Now when this letter has come to you, behold, I have sent Naaman my servant to you, that you may heal him of his leprosy." The king of Israel panicked. He thought this was a trap and a prelude to another invasion. How could he possibly heal Naaman? The king tore his clothes in fear and frustration. The prophet Elisha heard about the king's distress and asked that Naaman be sent to Elisha's house. Naaman and his entourage of horses and chariots went to Elisha's home. Naaman stood at Elisha's door expecting an audience with the prophet. But Elisha didn't meet with Naaman. Instead, Elisha sent a messenger to tell Naaman what to do to be healed. Why would Elisha slight and insult a great man like Naaman? That insult could have ended in Elisha's death. This was a test of the struggle between Naaman's pride and his willingness to be obedient. Naaman almost failed that test. The messenger told Naaman to go to the Jordan River and wash himself 7 times. Naaman went into a rant about the way he was treated and what Elisha told him to do. Starting in the book of 2 Kings chapter 5 verse 11, the text says, "Naaman was angry and went away and said, 'Behold, I thought, he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of Yahweh his God and wave his hand over the place and heal the leper. Aren't Abana and Pharpar, the rivers of Damascus, better than all the waters of Israel? Couldn't I wash in them and be clean?' So he turned and went away in a rage." Naaman's pride and ego got the best of him. His pride was still intact, but so was his illness. Fortunately, his servants, who understood what humility really meant, said to Naaman, "My father, if the prophet had asked you to do something great, wouldn't you have done it? How much rather then when he says to you, 'Wash and be clean'?" Fortunately, Naaman took the advice and dipped himself 7 times in the Jordan as Elisha commanded. Naaman was healed and his skin restored. These events led to 2 healings, not just 1. Naaman's leprosy went away, but his pride and ego were transformed as well. Naaman went back to Elisha's home. Elisha met Naaman face to face this time. Naaman acknowledged the power of the God of Israel and pledged never to worship the false gods of Syria. Elisha refused to take gifts offered by Naaman. Naaman's only request was to take 2 mules loaded with dirt from Israel. Naaman wanted to worship on the soil of God's chosen people. While this showed Naaman's humility before God, he still hadn't shaken off the pagan belief that their gods and idols were only powerful in their own land. Naaman thought he had to take land from Israel for his prayers to Yahweh to be effective. I guess some lessons take time. There are some important takeaways from Naaman's healings. Pride resists the very simplicity that can save us. Naaman wanted a grand spectacle, but God offered a simple act for Naaman to be healed. Humility must often come before healing. True faith acts before fully understanding what God asks of us. Elisha prompted Naaman to do something incomprehensible to learn obedience. Grace cannot be bought. Naaman tried to pay Elisha, But Naaman learned that God's mercy is a gift, not a transaction. True healing prompts a change of the heart. Naaman's new faith led to gratitude to the God of Israel and a change in his lifestyle. I have some challenges for you this week. Is there a difficulty God has placed before you? Is there a muddy river God wants you to step into? Think of the actions you have resisted and decide if God is prompting you to take a new direction in spite of your resistance. A new way of life may be on the other side of that muddy river. Have you been disappointed because God didn't come through for you the way you wanted? God may be teaching you that humility before Him means letting go of your limited expectations. This week, practice obedience to God in a small, simple, seemingly trivial act that God keeps placing on your heart. God may be waiting for you there. Yes, we've reached the end of the episode, but there's some more coming. I hope this has been helpful. If so, please take a minute to give this podcast a high rating and share it with someone you know. In the next episode, we'll look at some meaningful visions and dreams in the Bible to see how they can change the course of our lives. My prayer for you is that you will let go of your need for God to work your way and accept the path God lays before you. Have a blessed week. Just to let you know, all opinions are my own. If you agree, keep listening. If you don't, keep listening. If you listen long enough, you might learn something. All Bible quotations come from the World English Bible, which is a public domain work. Our show theme song is Awesome Call by Kevin MacLeod and is available under Creative Commons license. The content of this podcast is copyrighted 2025 by J. Brent Eaton, and this has been a Power, Love, and Miracles production.